It's a real fake news update, not brought to you by Pfizer. We have the Cory Booker did a long, record-breaking speech on the Senate floor yesterday. Let's look at what happened here. Cory Booker, this is from Bloomberg. So this is the spin. He's a champion of the people spin. Here we go. Cory Booker's 25-hour speech was a stunt, and it worked. You see, so they're pushing back against the deflection that they knew we were going to do, and they said it was a stunt, but it worked. The New Jersey senator's display of stamina wasn't just for the Democratic base. It was a message to his colleagues in the Senate. Oh, yeah. What was the message? Do something. This was former First Lady Michelle Obama's exhortation to Democrats last summer. It is now the collective demand of average Democrats despairing over the seeming inaction of their leaders. Into the breach jumped New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, once a young and up-and-coming phenom, and now a future senior statesman in a party that seems eager for new leadership. Over 25 hours, Booker broke the floor speech record, long held by Senator, and they won't tell you this, Democrat Strom Thurmond, who bellowed for a day to block civil rights legislation in 1957. So he was finally able to break this record and just put something in the books that just feels good. The old Obama, I love the Michelle Obama reference because it's all about the hope and the change and the Kamala feel good and I feel joy, and that's what it's about. And guess what, guys? He's black. So that makes it even more progressive and more of a step forward for the people. Let's see how Rachel Maddow responded to this, because she got first dibs. Imagine that. Rachel Maddow got first dibs on Cory Booker after the 25 hours. Ooh, what a score there, Rachel. Let's see what your conversation was like. I'm sure this is a very honest moment for both of you. Here we go.
I don't know if you are conscious of how much this caught the attention and caught the imagination of the American people. I know that you're not using electronic devices on the Senate floor. You're not watching your TikTok numbers and your YouTube numbers and the C-SPAN contemporaneous viewing numbers while you're there, because you can't be. But every time that I checked any form of media by which you could be live monitored, there were no less than tens of thousands of people watching in the same place that I was in that moment. What you've done with everything else that's going on with this administration and the horrific cuts of 10,000 people fired today from the nation's health agencies and all these other things. This is the biggest story in the country right now. You have captured people's attention for 25 hours. And I'm wondering, for people who were moved by what you did, either among your Senate colleagues or just people who watched you from home, what do you hope they might do differently if they're moved by you and they feel the same sort of spirit that caused you to do what you did?
Well, I hope that we're all served to be ignition points for each other. My constituents, the letters, the calls, the demands were definitely an ignition point for me, but we've got to continue to ignite this movement. The only thing that stopped Donald Trump from tearing away the Affordable Care Act was the engagement of tens of thousands of Americans who didn't think they would become little lobbyists or activists or come down to the Capitol or protest in their communities. Rachel, you and I have known each other a long time, and I've been listening to your show more regularly. I'm so grateful that you're doing this first 100 days. And I love how you start every show by showing what other Americans are doing. They're not waiting for us in Congress to lead. They've decided to take matters into their own hands and do something different. Those people were demanding to me to catch up, to try to do like they're doing. This is really about folks leading from their hearts and deciding I'm not going to just let business as usual go on in my life. And so I'm hoping that this is one part of a larger effort that tries to stop them from doing what they're about to do later this week or next week.
Oh, man, he's got that face of, oh, just and Rachel, they complement each other so well with those faces of concern. The problem is, and I know you guys know this is coming. The problem is that theater is really not just theater for the fact that it's for the feel good of all the people to just get excited about something. It's theater because what Cory Booker really is he's one of the highest paid Zionists in Congress. That's who he is. This is the AIPAC tracker. It's upwards of almost $1 million he's received from the pro-Israel lobby. But even more importantly, than you guys got to understand this part, this is even more importantly, is his personal rabbi that was assigned to him or assigned himself. I don't know who assigned who. But the point is that entire speech was coached and rehearsed. And you have to give like this shout out to the director of the speech, which is his rabbi. Drum roll. I wonder what rabbi was Cory Booker's, the coach, to make sure he nailed everything he needed to and stayed silent about all the things he was supposed to be silent about, which we're going to get into in a second. But I wonder who coached him through this. Let's see. Drum roll, please. Oh, Rabbi Shmuley. Rabbi Shmuley. He had notes, and he gave him the notes, and Shmuley helped launch the senator's career and taught him thousands of hours of Torah. So this isn't just recently. This is his entire career. This has been his coach, basically, teaching him how to behave, pretending to be a progressive, pretending to be about the people, but everything's always been about Israel's interest. And it's clear as day, because if you're on the Senate floor for 25 hours, again, this is just to break a record and make this big moment and feel good moment. And the black person doing it is perfect. It's perfect for Shmuley to rehearse this guy, give him the notes, give him the speech, everything he needs to do. In 25 hours, I'm going to say this psychopath Zionist, because you have to be a psychopath to cooperate like this and sell your soul to the devil, as they say. In 25 hours, Cory Booker never once mentioned the Palestinians. Never. He's friends with Netanyahu, we know, who's a war criminal, as we know. This is a man who has ordered millions and millions of people to be starved and murdered. So it's also of note that on his suit right before the speech, he made sure to put a Zionist pin on, and he showed everyone he was doing it as he was approaching the podium, and he wore it the entire 25 hours. So if you guys think that it was an accident that he happened to accidentally not mention the Palestinians as he's praising Israel, 25 hours, yeah, okay, we get it. Oh, Trump this, Trump that. Oh, we're worried about the people this, people that. We're murdering people right now in real time. That's what we're doing. And Cory Booker, his job is to deflect that and to continue this facade that Trump is the most dangerous man in the world for every reason other than the thing he's the most dangerous at, and that is causing World War III with all the neighboring countries of Israel on behalf of Israel. The one thing that you should be the most concerned, the most angry, the most furious about, that you could use that time against, you're supposed to be going after Trump, and you leave that part out. That's the most concerning part. That's the most concerning part. And then to hear the Rachel Maddows and all the people, the progressives, which they still think they're progressive. You're not progressive. You're only progressive if you can stand up to the Democratic Party and say, we've out-lefted you, then we can talk about being progressive. You're not progressive because you got in line with DEI. You're not progressive because you do the Ukraine war talking points and you do the Trump is bad because because of his 34 felonies, which were contrived and taken from a misdemeanor. We know this. So these are the wrong things to be mad at him about. Yes, the deportation sucked, but the fact that your focus, you leave out the part about the protesters being deported, that you deliberately leave that part out. That's the part plan for greater Israel. And that's why we know that our government is completely controlled and run by Israel. It is not one nation under God. Well, never really should have been under God. I don't even know what that Christian reference is, but we're putting that aside. We are certainly one nation under Israel. If the most progressive person and leader in Congress right now, in Senate, can get on that Senate floor for 25 hours and not mention one damn word about Palestine, we know who's really running things. So Rachel Maddow and all you other fake progressives, you can go F yourself with your hope and change and joy. And a black man got up there for 25 hours. That's not real. What's real is the people we're bombing and murdering and starving and targeting and executing and burying and high-fiving about and sending more money and starving to death. That is what's real. And if you want to be a real progressive, you should be calling that out. That would be progressive. Getting out of the capture of Israel and fighting for that would be a progressive ideal that we could get behind. Okay, that's a real fake news update, not brought to you by Pfizer.